Okay, we're going live. Hi, everybody. It's Thursday, October 23rd. Hope everybody's doing well. Weather's still pleasant. It's amazing how quickly the fall is moving towards winter. All our friends in Florida and Louisiana and all those places, I don't want to jinx them because hurricane season is about to be over, but it was a really quiet year. If you moved to Florida this year, you would say, what hurricanes? Anyway, hope everybody is doing well. This talk is on cardiac CT, and I thought I'd just bring that up because I couldn't figure out what else to talk about. No, but in all seriousness, one of the biggest growth areas in radiology is cardiac imaging, particularly cardiac CT. We started cardiac CT, or some people did it 4 slices, 16 slices, more people did it. 64 became somewhat routine. But as the scanners got better, particularly things like photon scanner, the ability to get a quality study is really almost perfect. Before you would have a diamond and you'd have a lot of coal. Now you basically get all diamonds. So simple things. Calcium scoring. There used to be an argument, do you need to do it? Is it a good risk factor prediction model? The answer is yes. Basically, everybody gets cardiac scoring over age 45 or 50. The question is, do you need to repeat it? Most people don't get it repeated, but it's a very good marker. If your scores are a bit elevated or above 0, you'll probably be put on statins. And that has tremendous opportunities to prevent cardiac disease. So calcium scoring is the simplest study. You lay on the table for a couple moments. Most of the time you pay out of pocket $75 or $100. But it's a great study, easy to do, outpatient center. You can do it early, do it late, Saturday, Sunday, whenever you want to do it. It works out really well. So that part's really, really, really good. Second thing is coronary CTA, ER setting, but also the outpatient setting. Cardiac CTA has, for the most part, replaced a lot of the classic catheter studies, which had complications, putting a catheter in, running it up, flicking emboli, all sorts of complications. Bleeding post any angiogram can be a problem. And with cardiac CT, the results are very, very accurate in terms not just looking, obviously, calcium scoring. The higher the score, the more likely you have narrowing, but that's not necessarily the case. You can have a vessel totally calcified, but the lumen's patent, like a pipe, right? Or you can have minimal plaque. I always worried when plaque was, a score was 120, 130, then you had calcified and non-calcified plaque. And as those non-calcified plaques that were really going to get you potentially. So coronary CTA, excellent study, looking at all the vessels, software, post-processing. Hopefully you have some text to help you out. Really good texts are critical, but really good texts are critical in everything you do. I think one challenge for radiology, initially it was cardiology wanted to do them all. Now cardiology, some places still want to do them, but cardiology, like radiology, is short-staffed. People usually fight when there's money involved or when they're overstaffed. When they're understaffed, they fight a lot less. Cardiac CT pays reasonably well. It doesn't pay great, right? So that's one of the things. But it pays well enough. So I think, but in most places the radiologists do it because, particularly, it's for the most part an outpatient study, and the radiologists own the scanner. So that's worked out very well for radiology. One challenge is you need to have a lot of expertise. You need to be doing it routinely. Most big centers have dedicated cardiac radiologists doing the coronary CTA. They're in demand. It's hard to find people who have good experience, good knowledge, because then you have to take call, and cardiac call often, like any call, is not very popular. It also isn't something that routinely you have people remote doing. A couple of companies have tried doing it, but it didn't really work out because it's that time essence which makes it more challenging. It's hard to run a remote operation where people are working from home and then be available all the time. People want those calcium scores that can wait, but the coronary CTAs, they want the scoring done quickly. Other things in cardiac, the whole area about TAVRs, looking at preoperative planning, looking at the aortic root, looking at dissections, looking at planning repair, looking at post-repair, looking at complications are all things we routinely do. So the growth in cardiac CT will continue to grow. There's a lot of work, companies like Clearly, where they analyze the studies for you. And there are several companies that are on the stock exchange that are now being reimbursed for analyzing the calcium deposits and analyzing the coronary CTA in total to be able to not just give a number or 30% or 40% stenosis, but what it all means. And I think people do like that. So there is a lot of work in development on how to improve not just the report, but the interpretation and what the report means. And with more and more data being available, this is indeed somewhat becoming routine now, and it will continue to be developed. So I think for all of you, if you're not doing cardiac CT, get into it. If you're doing it, keep learning, do it better. Look at some of the things, heart flow, Clearly, look at what things you could do beyond what you're doing already. And I think it's very exciting. So I'm looking at the people who made some comments. Everyone likes the topic. Most of our people, as you know, will be listening to this talk later on during the day. So I hope when you look at it later, there's a lot of stuff on CTisus, a lot of cardiac cases. We put it on Facebook and Instagram. I have to redo some of the lectures on cardiac CT, which we'll put on YouTube a bit later this year. Anyway, so I hope everybody is doing well, and I hope you have a great day. See you later.